right, start of a brand new week. It can be only that time, your weekly wisdom. Hey, I'm Zach Bitts. Great to have you with us. And as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Mike Vasovic.
Hey.
How was your weekend?
Good, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing well. I almost sent you a message this weekend because, man, I'm in flow right now. I'm in huge flow right now. I've never felt so good. And I know it's a culmination of not only, the work that we do with Inside No Limits, but also the live event, right? Setting some goals and knowing where I want to go and having that clarity, obviously coming from this program. So I couldn't be any better.
You have to have the system too. Everybody has goals, right? Well, they better have goals. A lot of people don't, but you should have goals, but you also have to have the system. Like when we teach our clients, like we do at the live events, exactly how there's a system to the way human behavior is, which I'm going to talk about today. Today's subject is really, really good. And it's going to wake a lot of people up, and some people won't understand it, even though I'm going to really make it simple. But the beauty of this, it's going to be out in cyberspace. So you can watch it several times to learn it and understand it. We're always available if you want. By the way, like our channel, subscribe to our channel, share this video, because guys, this is the only way that we reach people. But today's subject, Zach, but once you get into that flow state and stay there, that's what creates results. And but this roller coaster that people are on, good mood, bad mood, good day, bad day, good week, bad week, it keeps them stuck where they're at, and they can be very successful but unhappy, miserable relationship, or literally disconnecting from circumstances and stuff. And then they feel on fire for a day, and they feel clear. What you described, that clear mind, that focus, that flow state, that in the zone, day after day after day, that's when mountains are climbed.
Yeah, and it's really the result of taking my mind in a new direction, and more importantly, training it to be optimized for the way it is acting right now. Just like, over the last couple of weeks, it's no secret, I'm really going all in on my health and fitness right now, cleaning up the diet for my body, but also really fine tuning my exercise, my routine, my formula for physical health. And the same goes for your mind as well. And it's all about putting those systems in place, those habits, and it really leads to those results that you're wanting.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same thing. As we're sending each other pictures of what we're eating, and as we're both, we're trying to shred. But you've got two major advantages on me besides being better looking. You're better looking, so that's the third. But your other two advantages are I've got you by 20 years, and then the genes. I don't even talk about the genes. You're born the way you look, which is like I'm supermodel. I got what I got, and then I've got a beautiful wife that like literally encourages me to eat poorly, and I think that she likes to keep a little weight on me because I think she knows if I shred out and get really thin, I'm going to be super hot. I think she knows that. So I've got that working against me because I know she loves me no matter what. And then, you got genetics and age on me. So you're just better looking. No, we're having fun with it. So we're literally, let's jump into today's subject, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this one to share it with people because it's so true. But, like people are stressed more. And before we do that, prayers to all the people that with the hurricanes, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, our prayers go out to them. And now there's another one that's going to hit the southwestern Florida coast, which is, where we live in the winter. We got friends there, and we're off the water a bit. So I literally have friends taking their cars to our house today. And so prayers to all those people with what's going on with the weather and things. But stress, anxiety, pressure, inadequacy, imposter syndrome. Your mind is running, the brain, mind, two different things, but working together. They're running those programs every single day. And that's how people live. And they think it's their circumstances of their life. It's not. It's literally like the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the what ifs, the catastrophizing, the imposter syndrome, which is insecurity, inadequacy, that you're not good enough. The mind keeps running that program, and we think that there's something wrong with us when it's running that program, right? When it's literally feeding us every day, we think we're broken. Or people that have ADD or ADHD, they think there's something wrong with them, or they can't focus, they can't sleep at night, and they say there's a problem. I have a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your mind. your brain and your mind are working perfectly, exactly how you've trained them. There's no problem at all. Now, if you don't like that experience and you'd rather sleep at night, like most people do, and you'd rather, I had a friend of mine the other day, very successful guy, wonderfully nice guy, his 40th anniversary with his beautiful wife over the weekend, great guy. And I said to him, he said, Coach, we're literally playing golf Friday. He goes, I'm a little tired. I didn't sleep last night. I said, well, I just did a video on sleep. Did you watch it? He goes, no, but I'd love to see it. So I sent him a text and I said, watch it if you want to sleep at night. But he goes, yeah, I'm just a mess. I said, no, you're not. Your mind has literally been trained to be overactive, which keeps you up. We talked about that. But so we've got to stop looking at ourselves as broken when these things are happening. I know that it doesn't feel good. Most people want to sleep well, and most people want to be relaxed and content and clear-minded. That zone that you described being in the last few weeks, who wouldn't want that? But when we're not experiencing it, it's a product of the mind and the brain being trained wrong. And here's the number one truth bomb of this call, the first one, is everything that you are today is a habit and conditioning of everything you've been through your life already. That's all you are. So I speak the way I speak. I was talking to our client, Michael, who's in the inner circle this morning, and he's in Mississippi, and he's from that area. Michael speaks differently than I do. We speak the same language, but Michael's got that Southern drawl. You could tell he's from the South, and I think that's the coolest accent going, by the way.
I tell you what, man, if the Southern Belle accent, if a girl starts talking to me with that Southern, I'm like, listen, here's my grocery list. I just want you to start at the top and read all the way to the bottom, and I'm yours.
Exactly. So, but it just means that his mind was conditioned to speak the English language that way. My mind was Midwest, right? You just learn from your environment. But that's all we are. Everything we are, everything we think, everything we believe, all of our habits, all of our personality, all of our likes, all of our dislikes, all of our strengths, all of our weaknesses has come from habitual conditioning throughout our lives. And it happens in our childhood. It happens in our neighborhoods. It happens in society. It happens in like right now with these hurricanes going on. I guarantee there's going to be people like, I'm not going to Florida ever, because literally these experiences are conditioning people to believe and feel a certain way. And but everything we are, completely 100%, and everything we believe is all a byproduct of everything we've lived up to this point. So if we become the habitual stressor or the constant worrier or the fear person, the catastrophizer, what if, or if we're negative and pessimistic and we're drawn to conversations of drama, you know who you are, those people out there, right? That they love the drama. They can't wait, or they're just always, they find a problem for every solution. We know I've got a few friends like that, and I wouldn't mention their names, but they know who they are. But no matter, like whatever subject you bring up, they're going to find a negative slant on it. And it's not because they were born a negative person. They've been conditioned to be pessimistic or negative. And it just means that that's what their mind is. So you've got to take a look and say, okay, is it me or is it my mind? It's always the mind. You don't wake up at 2 a.m, obsessively staring at the ceiling and thinking about your life because you set an alarm to do that. It just happens. And, you don't wake up worried about your day. Like, you don't have a task list next to you at your nightstand that says, worry about my days. Check 1, worry about today. Check 2, worry about my to-do list. Check 3, worry about my future. It just happens. And it happens because we've taught our mind to be that. Now, you didn't do it on purpose. You didn't do it awake. You did it unconsciously. But you did it by watching your parents or having experiences in your life or having pressures in business or having, struggles or challenges or whatever. And it just happened. And now your mind has been trained to do that. So understand it's not you. It's nothing you were born with. You're not here to learn lessons of struggle compared to like so-and-so learning lessons. And I know this because I lived in one end and I've done a 180 and I live in the other end of a blissful life with challenges, but everyone has them. So it's literally the whole thing, the entire thing is training the mind to be at peak efficiency, like you described at the beginning of the call. Like, I'm in the zone. But that takes work, because if you're 40, 50, 55, 60 years old, and you've had this lifetime of stress and this lifetime of worry, so, well, that's just who I am. It's just what you trained your mind to be. You're not your mind. You're the vessel. You're the entity, the physical specimen that's experiencing what your mind is doing. That's it. So if your mind is giving you constant visual images to fear, ideas or subjects to fear in your life, then your mind is literally conditioned to do that. So the change is not putting fires out in your life continually, because you'll never run out of them. It's go inside and do the work. And the work is literally transforming the mind. And I always tell people, your life won't transform until you go inside and do the work there. Once you transform the mind, your life transforms.
It's such a powerful statement right there in itself. So those that are watching live, watching the replay, go ahead and write that down, underline it 12 times, and really eat, sleep, and breathe that. But I do want to bring up a point here. And as we're mentioning this as well, as we have some people that are watching live, if you have any questions, please chime into the conversation here. But I know that there's going to be some people, Coach Mike, whether watching live or the replay, that just say, okay, that makes sense, Coach Mike, but I'm too far gone.
No. Okay. Eddie Rivers, man. Eddie's in our he's been a client now for about 4 years, and he just loves, he's on every one of our Q&A calls. And he even, like, the days that, like, we don't have Q&A calls, hey, what can I listen to? But Eddie's 88 years old. And he joined our program, I think, when he was 84, 85. And he's like, Coach, I'm not sleeping at night. And Eddie's a former military man, 30 plus years of service. And he's just a stud, man. The guy's just, he's a great American. And
I would love to see him at one of the live events.
I know, but yeah, he even said it. He goes,
I
he
get it.
doesn't travel like he used to.
Right. I understand.
But it's never too late. And I don't care. Again, there's challenges, because every emotional experience, like, so I've got a good friend of mine who texted me. He was all over my phone this morning. He was calling me as soon as possible. So I called him, and he goes, hey, can we move our cars to your garage today? I said, sure. Talking about in Florida. He went through the emotional experience of losing his first level during Hurricane Ian, I think it was a few years ago. That and we're away from the water in Naples, so I was like, sure, absolutely. And so we got them all set up, and I've got a friend of mine meeting his guys over there to make sure they get settled. And he's got this. He goes, man, I can't take losing more cars. And so emotional experiences leave scars. So if you've lost a business, or you've lost money in the market, or you have gone through a divorce or a relationship breakup, most people have had their hearts broken. Or a friendship, like, or a family, like the toxic crap in families. They fight over things constantly. If you've ever experienced something like that, it leaves a traumatic scar. You look at COVID. So many people come into our program because they haven't recovered from the COVID crisis, right? And all of that was emotional. It was like, some people, they suffered and with their physical health and things, but most of the stuff we see is just the fear that left the scar. You look at 9/11. It's the best example I give. Everyone that was around on 9/11 knows exactly where they were on 9/11. But if I ask people where they were 3 weeks ago on 9/11, or almost a month now, they have no idea. The emotional experiences leave the biggest scars. So when they start to build and train your mind to perform in that manner, the mind now starts to perform in that manner. So as I said earlier, we're nothing more than a bunch of conditioned habitual habits, conditioned habits, right? I don't know if it's habitual habits, but we're nothing more than our behavior is all conditioned. Our habits and our beliefs are all formed. And now once we hold that belief, it's really hard to get rid of that. Well, we have formulas to change those beliefs, and you have to, but you've also got to change the mind and get rid of these viruses that have built up. But once you do that, man, the mind goes back to factory settings. And no matter what age you are, 18 or 88, you can take it back to factory settings. But you've got to put the work in. You can't just that's what people do with self-help. It's ridiculous. They'll watch podcasts and they'll get inspired. And I'm going to do this and that and this. And so-and-so says this and so-and-so says this. Or I'm going to go to a seminar and walk on coals. Great. You still got to change the habit of the mind. You got to change your beliefs. You got to change your internal state of being on a consistent basis, or nothing changes. So you could watch motivational videos in the morning. You can read passages from books. You could literally prime your mind, but you'll be good for moments. It's like eating 2 healthy meals and then eating 2 unhealthy meals. you're not going to make any progress. You've got to get the mind and the subconscious, most importantly, to peak efficiency. And then you live life in the flow state. Like, but it's not a jumping up and down euphoric state like I was watching my beloved Bears win yesterday. I wasn't jumping up and down, but I was happy. But it's not, you're not supposed to be that every minute of every day. But this feeling of contentment, of certainty, of confidence. You know, when you walk in the room and you know you're closing a deal, or you know that, like, man, I'm with some good friends tonight and I always have a good time with those friends. Or, yeah, no, this is a subject I know every bit about. I love it. Or even if you're binge watching your favorite TV show and it's like, I feel so good when I watch it. That's the state that you should be moving around in every day. That state of certainty, of contentment, of peace, that I know the rules to the game. And I understand that there's going to be potholes and things happen, but I know the rules of the game. So I don't have to freak out about anything. But that's a training, because I was freaked out about everything 20 years ago. So it's literally, but once you train your mind to be that, the mind can't not be that. Just like once you train your mind to worry and stress, you could distract yourself all day long with these self-help things and meditation and visualization and all this other stuff that they teach you, but the mind will return to what it is. You've got to change the mind. But once you do, the mind becomes what you train it to be.
And to your point, though, it does take work. But I have noticed in my personal journey that once you begin mastering this work and you begin to master the inner world, what used to seem impossible becomes almost effortless. And I want to give you an example here, and I'd love to share this with you. For example,
Yeah.
I've made this internal shift recently. Whereas, let's say, for example, I was thinking about a past relationship where before the past, that thought pops up, I'll get sad, like, or you know, the thoughts of sadness and all that. But shifting to, like, you know what? No, I'm grateful for that because of the lessons I learned from that person, or I'm grateful because it led me here. And taking that little shift for me personally, I want to get your thoughts on this too. Has made the world a difference. Just I'd say in the last couple of weeks here, because it allows me to accept the moment and just say, okay, everything has to happen for a reason to get me to where I need to be.
Well, yeah, but yeah, there's that's true. But you do stop judging your occurrences once you realize the system that we're teaching, right? That we teach people, like, your mind could be anything that you want. Last week we spoke about the law of vibration, law of attraction, if you will, and why so many people like, oh, it's just a bunch of woo-woo crap. Well, energy's real, and it's all there is. And so, same thing with the mind. So, like, when I learned these principles, and I didn't master them yet, I didn't learn nearly everything that I've learned, but I was implementing them. I got really excited because I was like, oh my God, this is why that didn't work out. This is why I went through all those things. This is why I was the one that was literally creating that stuff in my life, and the conflict and the chaos, because my mind was literally conditioned to be conflict, chaos, stress, overwhelm. So I literally would keep making stupid mistakes or engaging with people that I shouldn't be engaging with, or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes so much sense now why I've lived the life I've lived, the roller coaster, right? Success, failure, happiness, misery. And like, we think it's like so many things that it's not. It's just literally the subconscious. Everything, the habits, like, people say, oh, you look like your mom or dad. That's genetics, but then you walk like them. You have mannerisms like them. You laugh the same. That's all conditioning, man. That's all because the subconscious mind just picks up everything that we see, everything we feel, everything that we, like, right now, you and I are speaking on camera here, but my subconscious is paying attention to everything, the noises, the weather, the smells, everything. And it doesn't stop. And it keeps learning and becoming. And the subconscious, as I say all the time, doesn't have an opinion. It takes what you give it, and it takes what you give it consistently, and it becomes it. There's no positive, negative, good, bad. It's just, it is. So the subconscious, sure, you want more worry. Let me keep giving you visual imageries and subjects to worry about. And people say, well, I don't understand why everything's so perfect in my life. I don't understand why I'm worried about 20 years from now. I said, because the mind, you're in a state of being of worry. So the mind has to give you more to worry about. But back to your point is when you start living this way, your mind goes, of course it had to happen. And I am grateful for that experience because it taught me this. Instead of living in resentment or judgment of that experience, that's just another way of a mind working perfectly.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, when you just explain everything, and you're on this side of whatever you're, looking past your circumstances, it does all start to click. And
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people just don't have the faith that there is something on the other side of what they're currently dealing with. It's like, nope, I'm broken. I'm unfixable.
Well,
This
there's
is,
some
this is
people
where
that
I'm
are
at.
just, and they don't mean to be.
Right.
Again, if their mind is your mind is in such resistance, everything that we're describing here, Zach, I sum it up in one word: resistance. It's stress, anxiety, fear, loneliness, need, inadequacy, insecurity, fear, overwhelm. I don't know if I said those already, but all that emotional resistance, everything you want is on the other side of that. Getting people through that emotional resistance is the toughest thing that we do, but we do it. And I always tell people, I love the breakthroughs too, because like we see them every week with our clients. I got one over the weekend where one of our inner circle people is trying to get to the next level, and he's in his zone now and he's getting there. And I know he's there. And I got the note over the weekend. He goes, I'm doing everything you tell me to do. And holy cow, it's feeling different. It's feeling different. It's feeling better and better. And I know that he's going to have this huge win because that's just what happens. But people become addicted to their drama because it's expectations. And then people wait for the other shoe to drop because they don't want to be disappointed. So they become this like magnet for more of the stuff. And then they complain about the stuff, but they don't realize they're a magnet, but they also don't realize that there is an answer and it's right in front of them. And but they still, they spend so much time in all of their circumstances, and they don't realize that all their conditioning and habits have created those circumstances. I know they don't understand it, but it's true. So if they stay in the something, their life, the circumstances, the chaos, the overwhelm, their mind is, getting better at giving them more of that. So it's a new problem, new week. If you look back 6 months ago, you might have been stressed about something that you're completely stressed about something completely different now. 6 months later, that thing might be gone, but there's new problem exists. And if people ever just realize, holy cow, I'm doing this. I'm doing it through my consistent state of being every day in every area. I'm doing it with my beliefs because my beliefs are what I expect. So people that walk around saying, yeah, if it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. No, that's a state of being that's forcing those words out of their mouth. Same thing, waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's a state of being. If they have that expectation, that belief, that word, that thought, that means they're in that state of being. That's it. So it's not about the words. Like people say, we got to watch the words. Watch the words are a reflection of your current state or your beliefs. Watch the current state and the beliefs. And if you want to change the words, you want to change the beliefs, then we got to change the state. We've got to change the conditioning and the habits. And if you follow, we've got a perfect system laid out for our people, but anyone can do it. But people have to be aware. They don't mean to be addicted to drama. They are. And if you feel that the skepticism, so like Zach, if you're not a skepticist, I skeptic, but I know you've had stuff that you've had to work through. And I used to be a skeptic. And now I'm one of probably the most optimistic people I know. Like every problem has a solution, everything. But I had to train my mind. Like skepticism, you're not born a skeptic. People say, I'm just a realist. I'm practical. Well, no, your mind has been trained to be a skeptic because you've been kicked in the nuts so many times in this world that you're going to be a skeptic. Period. End of story. And life has a way of breeding skepticism, but it's just because your mind has learned it through all the failures, through all the disappointments, through all the heartache, through all the breakups, through all the stuff. And see, that's what just happens to me. It's just a condition of the mind. So if you say like, yeah, I really like what I'm hearing today, for example, or somebody else you listen to, and it's like, yeah, now is my time. I'm going to get through this. Your skeptical mind might say, yeah, gee, Zach, I get it, but remember when you were burned before? Remember when you got your hopes up a few years ago and that didn't work either? Remember when someone took advantage of you? And because of the experiences that you fed your mind throughout your life, and yes, you've been burned, and yes, you've been heartache, and yes, you've been disappointed, and yes, you've been, whatever, betrayed. And the mind learns from those emotional experiences, and the mind then says, "No, Zach, don't. Just stay here, right? Don't trust that person. Don't do it." And because the skeptical mind is going to talk you right out of it, and that's our defense mechanism when our mind has been conditioned to struggle or be skeptic. Make sense?
Makes total sense.
Mhm.
Total sense. I'm just, as you're saying that, and I'm sure many people that are watching right now, whether live or the replay, whether it's themselves, they're probably thinking, "Oh, I know someone like that. Oh yeah, I know someone like that." But it's the same operating system for everybody when it's all said and done.
No question. We all have the same catalog of emotions available to us. We all have. If I say it all the time, I took you and dropped you off in Australia at 6 months old, you're going to learn to speak with an Australian accent, okay? And you're going to have their customs or beliefs because that's where you've been conditioned. And it's so apparent, it's so evident that, like, look at all of the staunch religious beliefs and the societal beliefs, and it's like, how come people can't see that? We're just nothing more than conditioned beings, and we're experiencing basically what we've conditioned our mind to allow us to experience. Any belief we have. So if somebody believes that relationships are easy, they're going to have great relationships. If somebody thinks relationships are tough, they're going to create tough relationships. They're going to literally attract people that seem like, man, this is awesome. This is the one. And then the relationship implodes. See, relationships are tough. Whatever you believe is going to happen is a product of the way you've conditioned your subconscious mind, and the belief will play out in your life. Period. End of story. So if you want a different life, you've got to change the subconscious mind. You've got to change the beliefs. You've got to change your state of being. You've got to clear and remove the resistance. It's that simple.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as just clicking on the link that's right there in the comments right now. If any of this is resonating with you, a couple different tasks for you.
Where's that
Obviously,
link? Yeah, so that's the link to book a call with our team. Book a call with our team. If you want a different life, if you want a different outcome, if you're like dealing with stress and overwhelm and burnout and all that crap, it's not your life. It's not your spouse. It's not your work. It's not your boss. It's not your employees. It's your mind. And if you want to work through it, just book a call with our team. We'll get you through. You might even get me on the call. I still do some.
there you go. And as to your point as well, I mean, you're getting the best education right here. Just 30 minutes of your time here on a Monday. So like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Obviously, if this is resonating with you, so you don't miss these weekly wisdoms and it becomes part of your routine.
Like and share and subscribe, or I'll show up at your front door.
It's a fact. I've seen it happen.
All right, buddy. Great stuff, Zach. As always, man. My favorite part of the week, Mondays.
Likewise, everybody. All right, do all the things that we just said, and we will see you next week right here on your weekly wisdom. Take care.
Have a great week.
Yeah, we'll see you.